Hey guys, Reen here, and I hope that you all are doing well today. So I'm very sorry for this being another narration video from me, but right now I'm very busy with the exhibition, so I don't exactly have much time to be making any videos or editing them. But today I've decided to pick up a BJD tag, my BJD Journey Tag from BJD Addicts, if I'm not mistaken. And there are 15 questions in total. I've tried to make that short and in one take, not to edit it much. So question number 1, how did you first find out about BJDs? Well, I don't exactly remember how. That was a very long time ago, about over 10 years ago. I was browsing through some online diaries or something, and I came across pictures of Dream of Doll BJDs, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't exactly like other dolls. I get creeped out by older dolls like plastic and porcelain dolls. I do not exactly understand the anatomy of fashion dolls like Barbies and Monster Highs and other dolls like that. But I really found the BJDs very fascinating. I started looking into different information about them. I went to the DoD homepage, and there I figured out that they are very much customizable and that you can make a doll of your dream from the parts that they offer, which I also did. Sum-wise, it came up to, let me see, $1,500, which was an amazingly big sum at that point, which I couldn't ask my parents for. I didn't work at that point. I didn't have the money, so I thought that BJDs are not a thing for me. But I kept on returning to this topic from time to time, reading new information about them. When this new information got written by the BJD owners. And which brings me to question number 2. What was your first doll? First BJD? So in February 2014, when I was already working, earning some money of my own, I had a very stressful period of time. I've decided to simply go for it and get me a BJD because that's something that I have been wanting for a very long time. And I thought about which size should it be, SD, MSD, maybe a tiny, and for the sum of money that I could spend for a BJD, at that point I got me 2 MSDs in full sets. That's a pairing release. Mystic Kids, Eli and Natalia, they have approximately the same full set. And I got them both as main characters of my character world. So yeah, those are my first dolls. Question number 3. What is your favorite BJD brand company? My favorite BJD brand or company are Mystic Kids. I don't know what this is. Probably an imprint on the first company from which I got my first dolls. But I really like how their dolls, most of them, fit into the image of how I see my original characters. So this is very great. The other company that I really like for their style, the old style and the new style, are Dozone. Question number 4. In what way do you explore your creativity in this hobby? I try to make pretty much everything for my dolls myself. It's prop, dioramas, clothes, knitwear, different accessories. I do not make eyes. I'm about to learn how to make wigs for the exhibition. I try to do face-ups, at which I actually suck, sorry for the word, but it's the way it is. And I think that I will master that eventually because drawing isn't something extremely new to me. I have been doing that way back in the past, and I simply need to learn how to draw things not on flat surfaces but on 3D, which the dolls are, they're 3D. And I also do write a lot about my characters. There was a very long period of time where I stopped writing things about them. And the story has continued to evolve inside my head, and I simply didn't put anything out on paper. But right now, since because of my doll size, I have rebooted the world, and now I have the opportunity to write everything down again, starting from, well, a point closer to the beginning of their story and forward on, which is great. Question number 5, and how did you get started doing this? Explore my creativity, as far as I understand. I have been making handmade things for as far as I remember myself, not for the dolls, because I only recently got my BJDs about 2.5 years ago. But I have been doing embroidery, sculpting, drawing, crocheting, knitting, let me see, what else, beading, well, pretty much everything that has to do with crafts and handmade, because simply that's an essential integral part of my life, of my world, of how I see the outside world, for me to express myself creatively and to more or less stay sane. That's what I need, and that's what I like doing, and that's what I do pretty much all the time. But right now I'm doing it for the dolls mainly. Question number 6. Where do you buy your BJD items from? Clothes, wigs, shoes, accessories. I do not buy clothes for them. I make all the clothes for them. I do buy wigs, eyes, and shoes because I haven't learned to do that properly so that it's presentable. I do most of the accessories for them myself, unless those are some accessories that I cannot make myself due to not having any tools, materials, or something. And I buy them from different companies, from dealer stock. As for wigs, I like Monique. For my doll, I do get some random wigs with my dolls when I order them, so mainly from Mystic Kids. I have some wigs from Dolls On, which I do not like in quality at all. I get eyes from different companies. I prefer glass eyes, but I might change my opinion on that eventually. I get my shoes from also different random Chinese companies, from Alice Collections, well, different places. Question number 7. Do you have a certain style you like for your BJDs? Right now it's casual / romantic, but mainly because I haven't done any character clothes for them just yet. I'm mainly doing clothes for them to upgrade my skills in making clothes. So right now it's casual and romantic for the girls, but when I start doing character journals, character creation journals, and character clothes for them, there will be smart, casual, romantic, ethno. I do not like gothic Lolita and stuff like that because that doesn't fit the image of my dolls. I might do some steampunk because that is a possibility. There is some steampunk elements in the character's world, but we'll see about that. Okay, next question number 8. What size BJDs do you prefer or have the most of? I like all sizes. I came to the conclusion that I'm comfortable with all BJD sizes, be it tinies, USDs, which I do not have but really want to get, MSDs, SDs. I do not know about very big SDs, like huge dolls, but we'll see about that in the future. And my most favorite size, I think MSD, because that's the size that I've started with. They're big enough to make some smaller details on clothes and accessories, but they're also small enough to transport them, to take them with you if I go to different events, if I bring them out to exhibitions, if I bring them outside to do photo shoots, or take them to doll meets and other places, which is also great. But I do prefer tinies if I go out on trips to other countries because it's easier to carry a tiny pretty much in your pocket without damaging it, other than carrying an MSD or SD in your hands, because they're big and people, they draw more attention to themselves than smaller ones. Okay, next question. Question number 9. Do you have more male than female dolls? Vice versa. Why? I think I have pretty much the same amount of male and female dolls at the moment. First, when I was just starting, I thought that I would have more male dolls and just several female dolls for making like frilly, girly clothes for them. But then I it feels like every single one of them should have a pair or a potential pair couple to go with him. So kind of a male doll, if I got a male doll, a female doll eventually comes in later on, so to keep it all balanced. I don't know why, but that's simply how it happens with me. And as for couples, my Antros, the animal BJDs, they all have couples except for Nyanko, who is a guy just for himself. And as for my MSDs, they're not in couples, and human tinies, they're not in couples simply because, well, the MSDs, they're teens right now. They're about to start dating and getting all romantic about the opposite sex and maybe the same sex as well. But right now, it's still not there in the story, and the couples are not there for them. Will happen in the future eventually, but not now. Okay, next. Question number 10. Tell us a little about one of your dolls. Which one should it be? Let's go for my tiny, which is Mira, Doe's own baby Raphael. I got the doll from dealer stock after the event already happened, for one reason, that I really liked the features, facial features of the Doe's own Raphael in MSD size, but I didn't have the money to get him in MSD size, and I really like how cute the little guy is, so I've decided that if there's still a doll in stock somewhere, then I will get the tiny one for myself, so that I do have a Raphael in my crew. And as for the character, this guy is my House Guardian sprite, House Guardian spirit. Story-wise, he comes from the mansion where the parents of my siblings, Dan and Dana, and the kids, the siblings, lived in. Bad things happened to the parents. They're now gone. The kids are adopted into Ram's family by his father, but the tiny little house sprite is still there. He was eventually found that he resides there, as well as his familiar. This is Topaz, Joe's own Eudora, and they kind of got integrated into the story. Since these are new characters, they're not canon original characters, I created these characters just for the dolls. Question number 11. Have you ever sold a doll? Why or why not? No, I have never sold a doll before. I might in the future. I'm not saying that that's something impossible, but I haven't sold a single one yet because I'm buying the dolls according to a very well thought through plan of mine. And so far, I have no regrets about any of my dolls. They all fit the characters that I have had for them, or that I have created for them eventually. I did have some troubles bonding with several of my dolls, but it's okay right now, and I am giving them a second chance to tell the story, because I do understand that some BJDs, as it seems, they need a longer time to tell the story than others do. And I might sell some dolls in the future if I decide to reshell my characters, but not now. Question number 12. Where do you go to connect to other BJD collectors? We have a very nice little BJD collector community here in Riga, Latvia. We meet for doll meets. We hang out together from time to time. We do these exhibitions and go to different BJD events, other exhibitions made by other people. So we hang out together from time to time. As for internet, I communicate with the Russian BJD community. We have a forum for our local community in the internet where we chat if we do not meet in real life. I am present on Flickr. I am present on Den of Angels. I am right now, as you can see, present on YouTube in the YouTube BJD community. So those are the places where I communicate with other collectors. Question number 13. Do you tell everyone about your BJDs, or is it more private? Mainly it is private. My family members, all of them know about my hobby, about the dolls, about the amounts of money that I spend into the hobby. My mom she doesn't exactly understand the amounts of money that I spend on my toys overall, but she does accept the fact that this is my money that I earn by myself and that I'm entitled to spend it the way that I like to spend it. My very close friends, just a few of them, know about this hobby. As for the rest of the people, I tell them only if it is appropriate and not bad in any way to address this topic and to tell them about my hobby, because it's something that I differ from other people by, which I find cool. But there are also people who have a negative reaction to that. I have had negative comments addressed to me, like this is something for the kids, that I should grow up, that I should get kids of my own, not play with dolls. But I think that, first of all, every person needs to have a hobby. Grown-ups do have their toys. Usually that's like cars, gadgets, clothes and makeup for women. I'm not that much into these things. So my toys are my BJDs, and that's not a hobby for kids, because there are not that many kids out in the world who have so much money to buy such expensive things. And if I'm not mistaken, some companies sometimes in the past had this label that these things are meant for people over 14 years old or something. So it's not meant for the kids. So those are toys for the grown-ups. Okay, question number 14. How old are you? You can round it if you want to. Okay, I'm okay with saying my actual age. I'm 28 years old at this very moment. Question number 15. What is your grail doll? I have addressed the topic of the grail doll previously. I still do not know if this topic actually is something relevant to me, if I do have a real grail doll out there. But I think that at this very point I could say that Dolls on Hull, Scarecrow Hull, could be my grail doll in MSD and potentially in other sizes as well. But I do not like their tiny version of her. I do like the special head that they released for SD size. I have the sleeping event MSD head for her. I have ordered the event SD sized one, and I am planning to get the regular MSD sized one. So hopefully I will get this doll soon, and we will see if this actually is my grail doll and how can I communicate with it, how will I communicate with it, can I get used to that or not, bond with it. So we will see in the future. So basically that's all for my answers to these tag questions. I hope that this video wasn't way too long. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next videos. And if you haven't done this BJD tag yet, I tag you to do that and to put out your answers to these questions out there on YouTube. And see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.